the way their 2D art works, it's like one of these like, you know, like the mouth is like hanging off their head. So like their mouth is in place, but their top of their head is moving, so it almost has like this puppet feel. And I was like, I want to do that. And I couldn't find anyone. So I was like, I guess I'll be an anime boy. Any other questions? It could literally guys, please.
So if, like when you were creating your VTuber site,
all right.
If you decided not to make him a cyborg, what would you make him?
So for those of you who don't know, I have a VTuber. His name is Seiyu VTuber. The joke is Seiyu stands for cyborg Seiyu, and Seiyu in Japanese, or the word Seiyu is voice actor in Japanese. So he's a cyborg voice actor. I was getting ahead of the AI curve. I was making a joke on it. The fact that we're here sucks, but I was making a joke on it. The question was if I didn't make him a cyborg. Originally, I wanted to make it a Muppet. I wanted to make him a Muppet. Originally, my VTubing was going to be a gag, and I was like, this ain't going to work out. And then I kind of like fell in love with VTubers, and I'm like, okay, let me spend a couple of $100, see if I like it. It was a little more than $100. And I ended up loving it, and I'm glad I did, because it was the best decision I've made in my content creating career. And literally, yeah, it would have been a Muppet. I was trying to find out, so Game Grumps did this animation, or not them, but they hired someone to make this animation, and it was weird. One of my favorite game companies is, they're this indie company called Zoink Games, and they've made like Stick It to the Man, Zombie Vikings. They recently came out with a game with EA called Lost in Random. They're these very niche, obscure games, but the way their 2D art works, it's like one of these like, you know, like the mouth is like hanging off their head. So like their mouth is in place, but their top of their head is moving, so it almost has like this puppet feel. And I was like, I want to do that. And I couldn't find anyone. So I was like, I guess I'll be an anime boy. I still hope one day I get a Muppet like that, because I think it's, and it doesn't even have to come off the head. It could like be like this, not like Terrence and Phillip from South Park. I kind of want that weird felt look, you know, like how you see on a Muppet. So maybe one day, but that's what I would have wanted. If you're asking for an animal or something, I can't do it, because I got nothing. Yeah. Because like, I talked to friends who are wanting to get into VTubing, and they're like, what should I be, bro? And I was like, what do you mean? It's like, should I be like a turtle? I was like, should I be a penguin? I was like, penguin? I was like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, it's like, yeah, you know, you gotta have a theme. And I was like, do you? He's like, well, you're a cyborg. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not an animal. Like, it's like, yeah, man, maybe a raccoon. And I was like, I just like Rocket Raccoon, so I was like, maybe a raccoon would have been cool. Also Sly Cooper, so. But yeah, a Muppet raccoon. Yeah, I hope that answered your question. Yes. Guys, please, we have like, yeah, I'm trying to fill as much time as I can. What's up, bro?
I went to the booth and said, I'm over it.
Yes. Have I ever gone in the booth and said I'm over it? Like about the job?
Yeah.
Okay. Not about the job, but working with people, yes. There have been very few times where I've worked with people, because you know, you usually hear the good side of like voiceover and stuff, and it's like, for those of you who don't know, I'm Hispanic and Middle Eastern. So, you know, I make the joke of whenever I mess up a line, so if it's like, I see, so-and-so is dead, right? And if I mess up, I'll be like, sorry, my bad. English is my second language, which it is. Spanish is my first. I make that joke. I can make the joke. But I've had directors say it, and I'm like, was that racist? And it kind of was. It kind of was racist, because they said it again later. And I was like, my good sir, you're the whitest, anyway. But yeah, that's like the biggest thing. That I've been, you know, not discriminated against, Like I've been questioned about my ethnicity because I've worked on a project. They're like, "Are you sure you're Middle Eastern?" And I was like, "Well, yeah. Like, I mean, I don't know Arabic, but like, I grew up on like Lebanese and Mediterranean food, like, you know, like kibbeh, naye, baba ganoush, like, you know, this stuff." And then their eyes light up, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you are." And I was like, "Yeah." So I get it. I'm white passing, for crying sake. Like, you know, I'm very, and the fact that people think that because you're Hispanic and you can't be white passing is ridiculous to me. But same with Middle Eastern, you know. But it happens. But there was like that one director with like the racist remarks. I was like, I kind of never want to work with you, ever. And I've had to work with him once since, and I was like, all right, let's just get this over with, you know? So that's been the only time. And the crazy part is, I don't dislike the project. The projects I work on with that person, I do like. It's that person I don't like working with. So yes. And I'm not gonna say their name. Yeah. Don't go prying. No cheese me here. Yeah. Yes, what's up?
What do you think the Saint Seiya live action movie?
Dude! I was talking to James Marshall. Lovely man, by the way. He's the voice of Zaha. But, for those of you who don't,
He's Taylor.
yeah.
You said Zaha.
Oh, I said Zaha? Dude, I'm in. Anyway, Zamasu. They're both green. No, I'm just Well, to go to the greener mark, he was actually Piccolo in the live action movie of Dragon Ball Evolution. That's where I was going with this, by the way. Exactly. So, I didn't bring up the Saint Seiya movie to him. But let me tell you, that Saint Seiya movie sure is looking like Dragon Ball Evolution 2.
Yeah.
It's rough, man.
Sean Bean's in it.
Sure is. Sean Bean sure is in the Saint Seiya movie. So here's the thing. For those of you who don't know, Saint Seiya is a great show. If you have not watched Saint Seiya, I highly recommend. The original series that I am in, that we redubbed back in like 2018, 2019, is all available on Crunchyroll, which I do recommend watching it because in the Spanish community, that show is huge. In the American audience, people are like, "What the hell is Saint Seiya?" Which is totally fair because it never got finished, and you know, it was. I mean, when you have "I Ran" by Bowling for Soup, the opening theme isn't ingrained into your mind like Pegasus Fantasy. Like, but the live act, Saint Seiya is essentially, it's, how to describe it? It's a bunch of zodiacs, like using the constellations, are all armors, and it's a bunch of Greek warriors and people from all different kinds of parts of the world fighting each other in a tournament. That's the first arc, and then they're off to save Athena, and they have to go through all 12 sanctuaries or houses or towers, whatever you want to call it, of each of the main zodiacs, like Sagittarius, Scorpio, Cancer, that kind of thing. And they're all doing it to save Athena, who is the god of wisdom, but in this case it's the main heroine, and because she's at the verge of death, and it's all the Pope's fault, and you don't know why, and then there's this mystery, and you're like, what is happening? And then it's all convoluted, and it's really cool. And if you like high intensity battles, please watch it. And it's bloody, so it's great because it's classic 80s action stuff. All that to say, for some godforsaken reason, they decided in the year 2023 to make a live action movie and release it. And it looks bad. It looks awful. Here's how I know it looks awful. Half of the effects I saw, I'm like, I've seen YouTubers use these effects. I've seen King Vader use these effects. I'm like, bro, what are we doing? And here's the craziest part. There's only one reason I want to watch it. And it's because the actor playing Seiya is the same actor who will be playing Zoro in the live-action One Piece. And that is the only reason I want to watch it. And based off the trailer, I was like, man, my guy is very fluent in English. Hell yeah, this is gonna be great. This movie though is not. Because based off the trailer, it looks like they're following the reboot story of Saint Seiya, which isn't good for the first arc. The reboot of Saint Seiya, after the first arc season or whatever, they do the Sanctuary arc, which still looks great. Because my biggest thing with the reboot of Saint Seiya, it's CG, and I was like, they changed. There's a character named Shun in the original show, They changed his gender to a girl, which normally I wouldn't have a problem with. The problem I have is that I'm about to spoil Saint Seiya. Shun is the reincarnation of Hades, and how is that gonna work in the reboot? It doesn't. So that's my complaint about it. I'm like, I guess Hades is a female god now, sure, whatever, I guess, as long as they make it work. The name is dumb though, it's Sean. How do you go from Shun to you could have just kept it Shun. Whatever. Anyway, that live action don't look good. The armors look great up until the helmet. And Icky looks bad. I'm not looking forward to it, but my friend last night asked me if I wanted to watch it, and I am dreading it. That friend being Howard, who I've brought up many times before. But yeah, I hope that answered your question. I'm not looking forward to it. It looks like Dragon Ball Evolution 2. The only reason it's not Dragon Ball Evolution 2 is because there's not Namekians. And I have to preface Namekians because in the movie they say mimics. And that sounds a little racist. Any other questions? Yes. Yeah.
Wait, which one?
You last.
Speaking of live actions, what was your reaction to the One Piece live action?
I'm looking forward to it.
Okay.
I haven't seen any of the trailers. They haven't come out with any trailers, but the cast looks interesting. I'm really happy with the cast because it's following what Oda wanted with the Straw Hats, where all the members are like specific from specific areas. I know that some people are like a little hesitant, which makes sense. The fact that Luffy has shoes doesn't bother me, but it bothers the internet. I am really curious about Buggy the Clown. That actor I love in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And the moment I saw him in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I went, man, this sure looks like Jonas Scott. So in my brain, Jonas Scott is Buggy the Clown. He's not though, but I'm looking forward to it. And I really hope that for Chopper, they bring back Brina Palencia. So I'm like, oh, okay. I'm really excited to see the Arlong arc in live action, because I still think to this day that's top 5 arcs in all of One Piece. That, Wano, off the top of my head, those are the only 2 I think are top 5 right now. So, I guess Desert, like with Crocodile, that was really good too. Yeah, Alabasta, yeah. I preferred Alabasta over Skypiea. Or Sky, yeah, Skypiea, right? Yeah. For some reason when I went Skypiea, I'm like, that's Fairy Tail. No, I'm right. My head's One Piece. But I'm looking forward to it. I think the cast looks cool. I don't think Usopp needs the nose, but the internet swears that actor needs to put on a prosthetic. But I'm like, don't do him like that. Don't do him like that. What are you doing? I do think Buggy does, though. If he does not have the nose, that's his whole thing, then they're doing it wrong. But I feel like with Oda in charge, I think they'll do good.
Yeah, because I love Luffy. I love the actor they picked.
Yeah, he's Brazilian.
Yeah, and I always imagine Luffy having curly hair.
Yeah. No, I'm super excited. One thing that I am worried about is his Gum powers. All the other visual effects, I'm sure they'll do fine. But the Gum, it's the stretchiness. And stretchiness in a lot of, like, even Marvel can't get it right, you know? And I mean, they put their visual effects workers to. Anyway, yeah, it's tough. So we'll see how they do. We'll see. But I'm sure with Oda at the helm, because anyway, boats, One Piece pirate. I'm in. Anyway, yeah, I'm looking forward. Yeah, cool. We'll go you and then you. Okay? You still have questions.
So I've been itching to ask. Cyno loves telling dad jokes. So can we hear one of your favorite dad jokes?
Oh, don't say. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, the character Cyno in Genshin Impact tells very terrible jokes. And whenever someone says, what is my favorite joke? I have one that I have repeated time and time again. And they're incredibly upset because they've already heard it like 3 times this weekend. What did the sushi say to the bee? Wasabi! It's my favorite. It's my favorite. The crazy part is whenever someone says, say your favorite dad joke, that's the one I will say. Because that's my favorite one. I have like 45 dad jokes in my phone. Actually, I may have more. I have 45 organized ones. I can pull it up, guys. I can be here all day. The rest of the panel can just be me telling dad jokes. No, I won't. Yeah, I hope that. Yeah. And yours?
Okay, so this is one of your previous projects, like from the beginning.
Yeah.
We haven't heard anything from Nanbaka. We only heard of the manga.
Yeah.
If they were ever to animate Nanbaka again, are you willing to recast stuff as Uno?
100%. I would love to come back for Nanbaka. And Nanbaka was one of the first shows I worked on, and it's a prison show. It's a comedy, and then they literally it gets all bloody and murdery and dramatic, and there's a whole gag where it's like, this is stellar comedy. But it's great. It's great. I would 100% come back because I love that show, and working with Aaron Dismuke was super fun. It was really awkward because I remember that was when I did that show, Hayden, my partner, they came down from Canada to visit, and they were watching me record. And I'm gonna put him on blast because I love this story. Aaron Dismuke, there's a scene in Nanbaka where Uno, the character I voice, is cuddling this body pillow, and he's just like kind of sleepy and like talking it, and literally, he's like, yeah. And the director's like, yeah, that was good. So yeah, that was also the first time Hayden ever saw me voice act, so that was pretty fun. So yeah, that's I'll never forget that. It was awesome. But yeah, I love working with Aaron. We literally worked on Hell's Paradise the other day, and I've always nagged him. I was like, so when are you gonna direct again? When are you gonna direct? He was assistant directing, but still. And he goes, when I see him in the booth, I'm just like, he's like, yeah, you wanted this. And I was like, yeah, you're directing, yeah! He's a really good director and a really good writer. I believe he wrote most of Attack on Titan after Michael Tatum. I could be completely wrong with that, but I believe after season 3, I think he wrote it. So, but yeah.
Are you interested in voice acting? Are you a professional actor or just interested in getting started in the industry?
You're in luck. Elise Baughman is now teaching voiceover classes.
She has private and group classes that she teaches.
Stuff that I learned with her has been the business of voice acting.
I learned the physicality, the confidence, and just how to improvise and how to become a new character.
Just taking the character off of a page and bringing it to life.
And if you guys are serious about doing voiceover, it's super easy. Go to elisecoaches.com, get signed up, and we'll see you there.
I do have another question.
Yeah, what's up?
It's about your roles.
Okay.
My friend and I have noticed that every single of your roles are usually pretty boys or the flirty boys.
I'm about to debunk your whole theory, but go on. What's,
Like, is that like your whole personality?
No, that's called typecasting. That's called typecasting. So I do have the habit of, I don't pick who to voice, by the way. They cast me. But I apparently have been cast as like very pretty boys or edgy boys or very deep sounding boys as of late. But that wasn't always the case. And even then I voiced random things. I voiced literally the chupacabra. It's like, hola, ¿cómo estás? Like literally that is what I did. I have voiced like tiny bears. Literally I was in Wee Baby Bears. I was clones of Grizz and Panda. And I was also these alligators. But I have also, to debunk your whole thing, in One Piece, I voiced the grossest character. His name is Treble, and he's in the Dressrosa arc. And his voice is Doofy. Yeah, it's awful. And his power is snot, like mucus, and it doesn't look like mucus. It's vile. And he's fun to play because he's just drunk Fozzie Bear. That's the way I describe that voice. But he's disgusting. So no, I don't always play the hot one or the handsome one. But yeah, I don't know what it is as of late. Yeah, I guess my voice. Remember I was talking about the nasal stuff? Yeah, I guess it left, and then they were like, oh, you gotta. So, but no, it's not by design. I didn't plan this out. It's like, yeah, at the beginning of my career, I'm gonna play all the ugly. Damn. when they least see it coming, that's when I'll play the hot ones. No, it wasn't by design. But I have noticed that pattern, which